Item number 7, Chief Executive Officer's Report.
Thank you, Your Worship. We can take the item as read, although this has been a very busy period. Although it's Christmas and lots of people are on holiday, obviously the organisation has kept going. There's some items to note, particularly within this reporting period, with regards to the fabulous announcement from Ironman that we would get the 70.3 next year, which was wonderful for our events portfolio. It was particularly pleasing in this reporting period to see the works in Turangi completed and the celebration that we had, and also the skate park in Mangakino was fabulous, and I know that it's a very popular facility down there. The LTP has continued, and today we see the outcome of that process that's occurred during this reporting period, but my staff are here and we're happy to answer questions on any other aspect.
Okay, thanks very much, Rob. Any questions or queries of the Chief Executive? We're just going to 7 bar 13. We've obviously got red flagged this, the TNR Civic site. I noticed something in the paper today, the other day, regarding the receivership there.
Yes, that's a technical issue which Will could possibly speak about without breaching too many confidentialities.
Okay. Yeah, sure. So, some of you may have seen it on TradeMe or other sites as a receivership. Our understanding, without going into too much detail, is that's just basically a resorting out of the shareholders, and so I think we'll see in the coming weeks what the actual plan for that is, if it's actually reformed, if it is another company, or if it's sold. So we'll certainly keep a watching brief, and as soon as we know, we'll let you know.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Will.
Councillor
Williamson.
Through the Chair, on the Friends of the Museum Committee, I keep getting asked the question regarding the museum, obviously it's still waiting for feedback in terms of reference. Is that any further progress anyway at all?
Through Mr. Chairman, it has. Just in recent times, the door has been reopened for those discussions, so we should be in a place to have more healthy discussions over the coming weeks and months.
Thank you.
Great. Councillor Christowski.
I have a couple of questions, if I may, Your Worship. The first one is under 7 bar 5, under the emergency management. I understand that our chief man, Phil Parker, has resigned. Has that left us in a vulnerable position, or are we adequately covered? I'm looking at the MPG.
Well, Brian's not here today. Brian is actually down in Wellington for the presentation to Phil, I think, and congratulations to Phil for receiving that award. He's done an outstanding job over many years. So, in terms of Phil leaving, inevitably when you've got somebody with such a wealth of experience as Phil leaving, you do have gaps to fill. We believe that we have the right succession planning in place to cover certain gaps, but also Taupo, through the advertising process, has the ability to attract potentially very high-profile people within the industry. We are a very desirable location for emergency management staff because we have so many emergencies to potentially deal with. So we're optimistic that we'll be able to fill the gaps. We're working with group throughout the Waikato with Lee Halstead to make sure that whoever we do appoint to that position is well qualified for that role.
Okay, thank you for that. Another question, if I may, on 7 bar 10. Under flood hazard district plan change, the last paragraph where we talk about we are addressing the issues around the residual risk areas. Can you please explain to me what you mean by that?
Probably ask Sue to, and if you want to come forward, Sue, just 10 words or less. If you come forward to the microphone, Sue.
Risk areas are the areas behind stock banks. And we're required to plan for if a stock bank fails or is breached. And so we have to talk to Waikato Regional Council about that, and we have a meeting with them on the 6th.
Excellent, thank you. And my last question, if I may, is on 7 bar 16, under democracy and planning, the last sentence. You're having a stakeholder workshop, and I understand later this year we're having a review of the policy. Does that mean we will be able to see the result of that stakeholders workshop?
In short, yes.
Thank you.
So, just going to check. 7 bar 20, Bonshore Park. We're having issues out there. I haven't read this properly, but have we had any progress there?
I haven't had a report back recently. I don't know if Alan's got any more information on that.
It's still work in progress.
Okay, cool. All right, Councillor Park.
I'm sorry if this seems to be a silly question, Rob, but on 7/17 we've got the two seal extension projects, both with budgets of $402,000, and our seal extension budget yearly is quite a bit less than that, isn't it?
It's 400.
400,000, yeah.
That's
Right.
just-
I'll check into that for you, Councillor. It looks as though, that doesn't look exactly right. So,
Right, thank
yeah,
you.
we'll get some feedback for you on that.
Great.
It's the same budget.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Your Worship,
Yes.
on page
Councillor Body.
7/2, the CEO's report states, the world-class cultural workshop has been held for 20 new staff. Are they actually new to the job or new to the Taupo District Council?
New to the Taupo District Council.
So the new employees,
Yes.
not replacements from others that are left.
No.
Thank you.
Not new in numbers, but they are new staff to the organisation. So if people leave, we've replaced them.
The replacements of...
They are replacements, yeah.
Chairman, 7/5, once again to do with emergency management, talks of the EMIS system. Now, is that Origin Technologies or whom?
No, the Emergency Management Information System, I'm not sure who developed that, but it's a government-led initiative.
And I'm pretty sure, I can't remember if it was the last council meeting or the previous one, I think a similar question was asked around Mr Fox, around the, if he was happy with it, and he said yes for the moment, they're happy with it, they're aware of it, and they're keeping him watching brief.
Thank you.
Okay.
In regards of the cells at Broadlands Road landfill under solid waste, 7/6, the survey work has currently been undertaken. The final design is planned to be completed. The last report said it was after Christmas, so when's it going to be now?
Oh, I'm not aware of the exact date, I'm sorry.
All we know is it's on track at the moment, but we'll find out the date for you.
Just a couple more here, I think.
Okay.
On 7/9, under investments, Tirahunga Pine Block stage harvesting planning assessments are currently being undertaken. Where are we with this assessments as it was stated in November?
Through the Chair, there is a major issue with that forest as far as access is concerned. We need to get agreement from the surrounding farmland to access the trees to be able to harvest, and that is still work in progress. I believe there is a on-site meeting this week or tomorrow to see whether we can achieve the access. It's a very difficult forest to actually harvest.
Thank you. We're still going through the CEO's report, finances and all.
Yep.
In regards to 7/14, where are we actually with the bacterial compliances? Because month after month it appears as though our water treatment plants don't comply.
To achieve gradings, you need 12 months worth of results, and that's the issue that we have with our plants, is that we haven't got 12 months worth of results for the gradings to be given. We're in the process of building up the records so that we can provide 12 months worth of records, and that's because they're new works.
Thank you.
It's the park.
Oh, sorry, actually just something positive, Your Worship. On 7/15, one of the highlights about the new slower speed limit for the 800 metres from the highway down Puahipi Road has been greatly received by the public, and it seems to be, I've had it mentioned to me probably about a dozen times, so
The signs are up,
it's a
are they?
good call.
Signs are up?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Chairman, the Waitanui water treatment plant, at the last report it was to be completed in October 16. Now we've got December 2015. Has all that funding come through?
That is one of the topics for discussion under the consultation to the long-term plan. Council at some stage, depending on the feedback from the residents, will need to make a decision as to whether they proceed or not. So until we're in that position, It would seem a shame to say goodbye to a major government subsidy, but it's a decision that Council's going to have to make based on the feedback from the consultation.
Councillor Williamson.
Through the Chair, 7/31, regulatory revenues up, well, with respect to building, you see an income 116,000 ahead of plan. Was that unanticipated, or was it extra?
We have a wealth of work on at the moment, yes. There is an enormous amount of work going on in the building sector.
It's good, positive, yeah.
It is positive, yeah. It's difficult for the team to cope, but they're coping admirably well with some support from South Waikato in particularly. And we're sort of through the blip now, but there has been a wealth of building work.
Stephen, the Turangi wastewater treatment plant, 723, down the bottom, the key risks in regards of doing away with the materials. Why was that not included in the original planning, or the total budget, the original budget? It seems that we need a consent to do that.
Through the Chair, we'll come back to you on that. Mr Lewis is not able to join us this afternoon to answer it off the cuff. I believe that things evolved once the plant was put in place that weren't planned for in the first place, and that this is part of it, but we'll come back to you on that one.
Thank you.
Well,
Mr Chairman, if we move on then to 725, the Treasury Management report, it says monthly. There was no report in August, no report in September, and no report in October. I think there might have been one in October. I notice on page 725 that we now have 5 red crosses. I think there were three more than in June.
Yes, that is correct. I can count 5 there. The nature of them, one is related to the ANC corporate bond, which has since been sold, and in our draft Treasury Management Policy we have changed the ratios to align with the LGFA funding requirements, and as stated in the Treasury Management Report, we align with those particular ratios. These historical ones are what we have to measure against until the new Treasury Management Policy has been accepted.
Further to 7/26, Your Worship, right down the bottom of the page we have another red cross, which is through actual return against budget. What's an explanation for that?
We are down 0.04%. Sorry, we're not that precise to be able to budget to that level. We budgeted at 5%. It's come out at 4.96.
4.98.
Or
4.96.
Yeah.
Your Worship, is there an explanation 7/27 in regards of our international equities? We have a new red cross there.
Just a clarification, Councillor, all of the crosses, the first page of the report is a summary, so all of the crosses on the first page correlate through to the rest of the document, so it's not an addition of the crosses, the subsequent pages are where they relate to.
Well, this question then is not to do with an additional red cross. I want to refer to the gross external debt at the bottom of 727. At 17.5, where we're not to exceed 15%, and it was 17.5 back at the last report.
That's we've explained that one previously. We took out some pre-funding with the LGFA due to the attractive margins in the market at the moment, $25 million pre-funding. So we've invested that $25 million at an arbitrage and making money for the ratepayers. So hence that's caused that factor to breach. And the debt to equity ratio is not part of the Treasury Management Policy that you've signed off through consultation on the LTP. It's a parameter that's acknowledged for the public sector here that's not really quite appropriate. So that won't be there, and it's not there in the policy that you've subsequently signed off.
Your Worship, could I therefore ask on 728, it was picked up in my report, which ended on the 30th of September, at the bottom of the final page we used to have point 4, cash management, daily bank balances. That seems to have been removed from the last two reports. Was there a reason for that? Because we exceeded the range in February 6 times, March 14 6 times, May 3. It's probably quite an important area to still be on that report. There must be a good reason for it not to be.
Happy to answer that one. Again, this has been previously explained to Council. We have put in place now what's known as a sweep account with the banks. So what happens there is that goes through and effectively the current account is swept down to zero every day and balanced through the, if you like, the savings or call account. So hence the removal of that measure, because it's now actually impossible to overdraw the account because that sweep mechanism is in place. Hence that's been removed from the report because it's not relevant anymore.
So I'm going to, if there's no other questions, wind it up now. I want some explanations, and it's probably been done in the past. If we go to 7/36 in regards to the bow wave expenditure update, the full year budget figures on some occasions change. Is there a reason for that?
Sorry, can you be specific?
Your Worship, if we go to the 9th of December agenda in the bow wave paper there on 7/9, on that occasion states that the full year budget in regards of community facilities was 344. The community facilities in the report before us say 495. If we go down to water, the previous figures were 560, they're now 534. And right at the bottom of the page we have previous year bow wave carried forward. There's a difference there, and as the two additional items or three don't make the figure that the difference is, I don't know how that's come about. What I'm getting at is, if you have a budget that states something, isn't it a budget that's worked on for the full year?
Through the Chair, I have previously advised councillors that if they have specific questions of this nature, can you please raise them prior to this meeting, because naturally we do not have that information at hand to be able to answer the questions now. If we are asked prior to a meeting, we can source the answers, and when you ask them the same question at the meeting, we can have the answers for you.
Thank you for that, and Your Worship, no doubt that information will come forward, because I like to share it with my fellow councillors.
Okay. Any other questions of the Rob? Okay, thank you. I have a mover, please, suggested resolution there. Thank you, Councillor Williamson, seconded by Councillor Hickling. All those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Those against? Carried. Item number 8. Gareth.
Worship, I'll take this one simply because Mr. Carroll unfortunately is away on bereavement leave. This is an item which seeks to make the suite of plan changes for the commercial industrial plan changes to the district plan operative. There is a little bit of update from the item that you've got in front of you. Number one is, or the big one, is that the court has ruled on both the cost application by one of the appellants, CSM Properties, and their request relating to some minor wording changes in Plan Change 30. You have been circulated a copy of that decision, but just for clarification, the court has dismissed the cost application made by that party and also dismissed the request for the slight change to the wording. As a result of that, the suggested recommendation or suggested resolution 1 can be passed in its entirety, including Plan Change 30. So that would make that entire suite of plan changes operative. It is a procedural step, this one, but it is one that's required by the legislation to make that those plan changes operative. As you'll note, this has been about a 7 or 8 year process, starting from the commercial industrial structure plan, going through council hearings, environment court hearings, and the subsequent negotiations since. So after today, we'll notify the fact that they're operative. What that essentially does is mean that the new rules have 100% weighting, 100% effect, which will give good certainty to the development community and the community at large in terms of what they can and can't do, both in the town centre and in the lands around the ETA. So quite a milestone moment for the district. Happy to answer any questions.
Any questions of Gareth? Councillor Hickman?
Move the suggested resolution, Your Worship.
Seconded by Councillor.
Chairman, before you do, I'd like clarification in regards of the suggested resolution, because it includes Plan Change 30. On page 8(2) at the bottom, Plan Change 30, it states, until the court makes a ruling on this matter, it would be inappropriate for council to make Plan Change 30 operative. If we move that resolution, it becomes operative. Has that decision come through?
So yes, that was what I just referred to before, that the decision on both the costs and Plan Change 30 amendments have come through, and both in council's favour, so there's nothing standing in your way of making that operative.
I apologise, thank you.
Okay, Councillor Christowski.
Just a question as regards to, are we planning to have a review of the overall process? And the reason I ask is that it has been a challenging process, I think would be fair to say, and it would be good to know whether there are any items or issues that we can learn from and implement in future.
Short answer is I'm more than happy to do that and provide feedback. We do at an officer level, but I'm happy to gather feedback from you as elected members. What I would say is that from a RMA setting generally, and particularly in this space, in this commercial space, I would say that this has been a very, might not seem it, but a very smooth, crystal smooth waters and smooth road. There are other councils in Christchurch just still going through it now. They've been about double the amount of time that we have. Bigger issues, of course. So we've been, it's been incredibly well managed, if I say so myself, and quite smooth given the reach of those plan changes.
I would like to take that opportunity and discuss it. Thank you.
Councillor Jollins.
Oh no, I was just smiling. I was just thinking what Bernard was saying. Well, I mean, we do have a district plan review coming up in the next few years, so if there's any learnings, it would be worth being involved in.
Moved by Councillor Park, I think it was, yeah, and seconded by Councillor Williamson. Sorry. Hickling, we got that. All those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Those against? Carried. Item 9.